the Appalachians, which is one of the oldest mountain chains on the planet.
I think they told me oldest.
They built the Rockies much after the...
Which is why they're still rocky, whereas the Appalachians are a bit rounded and
woody. Yeah, well, the thing is, for the Rockies, they had a long time getting the permits.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the unions got involved. And...
Oh, you forget about it, yeah. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room, guys. Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, November the 7th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, say hi, Fry.
Hi, who's that guy?
That's Fry.
That's Fry?
That's my bear.
That's your bear. Are you hugging him or something?
I am hugging my bear.
Why are you hugging your bear?
Because it is Hug a Bear Day.
Happy National Hug a Bear Day, folks. Happy National Hug a Bear Day.
So we'll put him down here so he can sit. Well, maybe we'll put him over here. Actually, my grandmother got that for me before I went to college. So that is one old bear.
That is one old bear, as are you.
Yeah.
But exactly. It is all. I'm a little hungry, so we're gonna get to this one right now. It is also Happy National Dark Chocolate with Almonds Day.
Oh, nice. So what are you eating there?
I'm eating the same thing that made you jealous last week, because it's the only chocolate and almond one I have. It's Almond Joy. Right?
Oh, but it's milk chocolate, so
it's milk chocolate.
That's close.
I don't have any dark chocolate.
I went with this. I went with the skinny dipped dark chocolate cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
Almonds. These are yummy. I like these a lot.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
So look that out of the way.
Now that that's out of the way,
the usual
exactly.
opening stick.
Also, happy Election Day.
Oh, it is Election Day.
It is. I got one of these.
I didn't get one of those.
I didn't put one on. I didn't put it on. It's still on the. I didn't take it off, but it's there. I got it. So happy Election Day. So, I went and I counted.
What did you count?
My fingers. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
No, it's good use of the time inside the booth. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. This is true. Oh, it's all. I mean, it's a sheet, right? You put it in. Everything's on the computer. Bing, 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 boom. Cast, bing. You're in and out of there, and I mean, you know what you're doing. You're in and out of there in 30 seconds, really. So. All
right. You and your chads.
Yeah, no more hanging chads. That's a thing of the past.
Is it hanging or dangling?
Hanging chads. Hanging chads. Yeah. So
scared the hell out of chads everywhere.
Every chad that was hanging out was scared. Yeah. We got to get rid of these hanging chads. What did I do? Right, exactly. So anyway, I'm thirsty. Are you thirsty?
Mm-hmm. These are a little on the salty side.
Very nice. Why don't we bring our guest on the show, and then we can...
You mean the man whose name we've been mispronouncing the whole time?
The man whose name we were mispronouncing, yeah. And it took Augie Carton, and I'm only going to say it the one time, to correct us. Actually, it took Don to correct us, because we thought Augie was full of it. Oops, that's twice.
That's twice. Stop it.
Right, don't say it again. All right. Well, he was just on the show last week, so I don't think it counts.
Okay.
Right, this week. All right, so that's good. Anyway. All right, please welcome to the show, Mr. Don Tse, the Don of Beer.
Hello.
How are you, Don?
Hey, Don.
I am excellent. I am thirsty as well, so anxiously waiting when you say I can crack my beer.
Well, you crack it open. Go for it.
Crack it open. Go right for it. And then let us know what you've cracked open.
Yeah, what are you drinking there?
Well, as you guys know, I just returned from Chicago.
Yep.
It was my first trip there in many years, 7 or 8 years.
Nice.
And so I visited a brewery that I hadn't been to before called Maplewood.
Okay.
And
Maplewood, yes.
I actually did check in a bag, which I don't usually like to do when I travel, just so I could bring home a few cans. The reason I checked the bag is I wanted to bring home some Three Floyds, which I did.
Of course.
But then, as long as I'm checking a bag, then I may as well bring some other local favorites. So I've got this Son of Juice from Maplewoods.
Very nice.
I brought home some Half Acre. I got a Half Acre shirt.
There you go.
Swagged up.
Yeah, and a few other sometimes I like to surprise myself, and I'll get breweries that I never heard of. So I brought a few that I've never heard of. So I can't name them here because I can't remember them. And then I'll discover why there's a reason I never heard of them. But sometimes you get surprised.
Sometimes you're pleasantly surprised. Absolutely.
I always check bags. It's one of the main reasons I went and got I think I got the Delta card. That way, my first check bag, and everyone who flies with me, their first check bag is free.
Yes,
round trip. So that is awesome. And because usually I'm bringing beer with me as well as back. So,
okay, yeah, well that makes sense. Bringing stuff there to
either trade or enlighten or spread the word. To bring, I've brought some of John's beers places. I've brought boat beer around the world. I've had boat beer. I gave boat beer out in Italy, as a matter of fact. So, I like to be an ambassador for the local beers.
For the person whose name you refuse to say again.
We can't say it a third time now. It's like Beetlejuice show up on the show.
just can't do it.
Yeah, can't do it. What are you drinking, Samurai?
Well, because you gave it to me.
I did.
Yep. So John and I saw each other this weekend. We were out and about and actually doing some research for the show. And he gave me one of these. This is from Alternate Ending. We'll hear more about them upcoming soon, right?
In a couple weeks.
Yeah. And this is Out of the Shadows. This is a triple decocted Czech anniversary Pilsner.
Nice.
So I am looking forward to the tasting. Actually, since I've got the almond in them, I'm going to water up first.
There you go. I actually just had some of that today.
Water?
Water. I did. I had
awesome.
Some water today.
You should hydrate. Keep hydrated.
No, had some of the triple decocted Out of the Shadows today. Ben and I were canning a collab that with Ashton. More on that later or Thursday, actually. Steve Ashton will be on the show next week, and we'll be talking about that collab and as well as his brewery and some other things. But you go to a brewery where they're doing a collab, either the brew or the canning, the packaging, right? And we bring a couple of beers to have. That was one of the ones we brought, so we had some of that. I
gotta say, this is that malt presence has really been enhanced.
Oh yeah,
on this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Thank you, Decoction.
Yeah,
and in your face, everybody who badmouths Decoction.
Right.
And for those of you who don't know what Decoction is, I'll let one of the two of you explain it because I always screw it up every time I do.
Yeah. It's you're just removing some of the wort and boiling it up separately and then reintroducing it to the current wort and then bringing it back and forth. So they cycle through that, but they usually, most of the beers that Alternate Endings do, they do single decoction, right? This particular one, they did it 3 times. They did triple decoction, and when they do a triple decoction, it can be like a 10 or 12 hour brew day.
Yeah.
But
it steps the main mash through different steps, which does activates different enzymes.
Sure.
And then the entire the portion that's boiled, of course, goes denatures a bunch of their enzymes, so reduces that enzymatic activity and creates Maillard reactions. Most importantly, so absolutely love this
Maillard reaction. The same thing that creates toast.
Correct.
Yep.
Same. It's also part of oxidation. And,
it is part of oxidation. Yeah, absolutely.
And the denaturing of the proteins that creates more of a mouthfeel to it.
I had hoped
denaturing and the enzyme. Sorry.
Yeah, I had hoped after my 2-sentence description of decocting that the science would come out of Don's mouth. I did it well. I was good.
I could literally talk for days about decoction, and you have to use different grains, or you can't just use your simple pale ale malt and decoction. That's a disaster.
They've done a nice job.
They do a really good job. We just brewed. We were over there last week. We brewed a black IPA with them last week, which will be released on Black Friday.
And did they decoct that?
No, we didn't decoct that at all. No,
okay,
that was just straight.
But you go there, you can drink some real good beer at the bar. You can go to the other room, watch a movie.
They do a lot of lagering there. They have 4 horizontals and they have a horizontal fooder too.
Please tell me they import their base grain for those decocted beers.
They do.
They're doing it right. You've touched a few things I'm passionate about: undermodified, low protein European barley, and hydrostatic pressure in horizontal tanks. Man, I gotta get to Jersey and try these beers.
You got
it.
Man, absolutely. I just throwing my beer up there. I went for my first beer. I went Kolsch from Florida, Three Sons Brewing in Danny Beach.
Three Sons is fun. I mean, they do some really good stuff. And what's even more fun is when you're down there for a festival, is when the gates open. Anybody who's doing the festival will stand near where the gates open and video everyone tearing ass to either Three Sons or Wakefield.
Of course.
They're going to go to one of those two. And you can see, and if the festival people are smart, they put them on different sides of the festival, so you can see them come down and just running down the middle, and then just split like let the Red Sea. It's amazing. Really something else.
You gotta love it.
I've got a video of that somewhere.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, there's so many festivals that Jonathan Wakefield. He's just, the some of the stuff they do. He does a lot of beer fest you go to, and there's just an hour plus line at his booth.
Yeah,
he's a super Star Wars nerd, isn't he?
Super Star Wars nerd.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, we interviewed him for the All About Beer podcast about his super Star Wars nerdiness. We didn't ask him any actual beer questions. It's all
about the Star Wars nerd.
It was. Yeah.
Oh, geez, when I met him, I didn't bring up Star Wars. Although it may have been a better conversation because I'm a major Star Wars nerd as well.
He is.
I've seen everything.
I love Star Wars. Dave makes me look like I hate Star Wars. So.
As long as we can all agree that the greatest character in all of the Star Wars films was the Ewoks, then we're all on the same page.
See, there's a game that they came out with that I played, and I played it for the sole reason that you could shoot Ewoks. It was awesome. Now, my favorite character was Wedge Antilles. In the first three movies, he's in all three of them. And other than major characters, he's the only one who survives the two Death Stars.
He's the only red-shirted Star Trek character that survived all three.
Yeah, big fan of Wedges.
Yeah, you do like Wedge.
Yep. Not the salad. Yeah, the
I like a wedge salad. I like a good wedge salad.
Yeah. Just not when they put red onions on it. Keep those off.
I don't mind red onions.
You don't need it.
Nice amount of bacon, nice blue cheese. I'm good to go.
Where do you stand on wedge salad, Don?
I'm not a big fan of iceberg, but if the wedge is romaine or something like that, then I'm cool with that.
It's hard to wedge a romaine.
I have had it though. I have had romaine. Yeah,
I have too. You ever have grilled romaine? Grilled romaine is delicious.
Grilled romaine's fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Iceberg is the Coors Light of
it is.
It absolutely is.
It has its place though. It does.
Just like Coors Light does. Yes.
Right. Yeah. All right. You just got back, a little while ago, a few weeks ago, whatever, from Germany.
I did. Yes.
Tell us about that,
please. Because I'm going to take notes because I'm probably going to more than likely, almost definitely going to Germany in April.
Oh, okay.
And we may very well be going to Oktoberfest next year too, but that's besides the point.
Okay, so the impetus was Oktoberfest. I've been to Germany a few times, but never been to Oktoberfest. In fact, I actually actively was avoiding Oktoberfest. I've heard so much bad things about, ridiculous drunkenness, and I'm a beer taster. I'm not really a beer drinker, which are, and so, they serve beer there by the 1 liter Stein, and I'll go to the tent, I'll have one, and then
you're set.
Then what, right?
Which is test backwards.
So we went.
In this case, it would be est, but that's besides.
There was a few of us who went together, all writers or industry people, and we called in a few favors to get into the VIP area of these tents. And I thought, well, if I'm in the VIP area, maybe it won't be so bad. I will say, the different tents have very, very different feels to them. And so go to multiple tents.
Right.
If you're going on a weekend evening, you want to somehow get VIP access because they are Zooish tense. But if you go midday, it's a nice, fun party atmosphere, but not crazy. And all the horror stories that I'd heard about, like puke everywhere and ridiculous debauchery, like, yes, we did see a couple people puking, but I mean, I've seen people puking at, JBF. Right. So I think that the negatives of the reasons I didn't go were largely invalid, which is why I want to encourage everybody else to go.
Did you wear lederhosen?
I did. So here's the other thing.
Nice.
I am not a fashion guy. I am not a costume guy. All those cosplayers that go to Comic-Con, and like, that's not me.
Right.
And I absolutely was not going to wear lederhosen. I was telling John Hall, like, you're going to be completely disappointed because I'm not going to wear lederhosen. And last minute, I read something about how something like 98% of people are in some sort of dress. And so I had to overnight ship some lederhosen. And I'm glad I did because seriously, 98% of people were in some sort of lederhosen or dirndl. Yeah.
Now, are they comfortable or do they chafe?
The important thing is they stretch. So when I got them, they overnighted them here. I put them on. I thought, this is not going to work. This is going to be terrible. And then on my first day in Germany, same thing. I'm like, I am not going to last. Like, we're going to be there 4 hours. I'm not going to last. But they stretch out. It's fine. Yeah.
Excellent. Good to know.
So I recommend it. I highly recommend it.
Because if we do Oktoberfest, I know Kerry will make me get later.
Oh, if we're going to Oktoberfest, you're wearing lederhosen because I'm wearing
you will stand out and be chastised for not wearing it. But the beer is great. Have you been to Germany before and had?
No, this will be my first time to Germany.
Okay, so the whole
technically it won't be.
Well, no, I was in Munich. Well, that's true. I was in Munich for a layover, and I got into Schneiderweiss.
Yes. Yeah. Love that place.
Really, really, really enjoyed drinking off of one of the taps.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got something for you. Hold on. Was it tap 6? Was it?
Tap 6. 7 a.m. here. I send John a picture of me drinking off of taps. I'm like pointing back there because tap 6 is right behind me.
Yeah.
And I've got the beer in my hand.
Yeah. I just texted back 3 letters, GFY, and a middle finger emoji, and I went back. I rolled over and went back to bed for half an hour.
So the fun thing, one of the fun things I want to point out about German beer too, is that whole purity thing and the quality of it really is true.
Sure.
To the point. So I am not a huge drinker. I typically have 1 or 2 a night. On our first night in Oktoberfest, it was a Saturday night in the Hofbrau tent, and I recall having 4 1 liter steins. Yeah, 4 1 liter steins. Mm-hmm. I may have had a 5th.
After 4, it's hard to. Yeah, you're gonna lose track.
And it's not that I don't remember or passed out or whatever. It's just after 4, you just kind of lose track. So, made it home safe and everything. Like I don't want people to get the impression that I got shit faced and that's why I can't remember. But the next morning woke up just fine. Like there's no hangover. It's truly an incredible experience. And then the next day, again, I probably had 4, although that would have been over a longer period of time because we were there all day.
Right.
So I would encourage everybody to go at least once. I'm probably I've done it once. I'm not sure I really need to go back. Great fun. Go with the right attitude. Mm-hmm. Sing along. Stand on your bench and they have the Oompa bands playing Sweet Caroline, and
I saw a video of that actually. You were there doing that?
Yeah,
and the whole tent singing.
The whole tent is singing, and
in English.
In English, they'll even play. What's the White Seven Nation Army? They'll play Seven Nation Army.
Oh, wow!
It is great. It really is great fun. And then the one thing I want to tell everybody is if you do go, there's an area of the fest called Old Weizen. The whole area is called Weizen. And so there's an area called Old Weizen where they have the old rides, the old games, and then they have old, I guess, more rustic tent from Ayinger puts it on. Mm-hmm. And then there's a special beer that is only available at the Old Weizen that you can have there. And again, it's because it's Old Weizen, it tends to be an older crowd, a little bit more subdued, but still great fun. So if you go to Oktoberfest, make sure you go to Old Weizen.
Nice.
Now, did you do anything else in Germany? Did you visit other breweries?
We did do a little bit around town. You go to the old Marienplatz there, and there's the beer gardens. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And before Munich, we went to Bamberg, and home of Rock beer.
I was going to say, John Hall had to go to Bamberg.
Yes.
Why would he go there?
No, that's not true.
So we did a couple of cool things there. I've been to Bamberg before. It's a beautiful town. If you are traveling with non-beer loving people, Bamberg is a great town because it's just beautiful. Largely undamaged from the wars. So very old, beautiful buildings. Nice. But for the beer lover, if you are a rock beer lover, the two, of course, main rock beer breweries are Spezial and Schlenkerla.
Right.
If you go to Schlenkerla, if you can arrange it to do a tour where you get to go down into the caves, literally down underground into the caves, they have their horizontal bright tanks there, their horizontal fermenters, and it's amazing because they were all brought in whole. Down how they fit those tanks around corners and things into the cellar is absolutely amazing in and of itself. But then you'll get to drink.
Pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot.
You'll get to drink it off the tank unfiltered, and it is it is a mind-blowing experience.
Bamberg is on the itinerary to take a day
and it's
trip
only like a hour and a half or 2 hour train ride from you.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to day trip via train out of München.
Yep.
And head up to Bamberg for the day, and then hopefully figure out how to get back onto the train after drinking our way through Bamberg.
Well, if you end up having to stay the night, then Spezial actually has rooms for rent above the pub that are really nice.
Hall told me that. He said if you're going to stay there, stay at Spezial.
Yep. And
that's a brewery. Yeah, of course, I'm staying at a brewery.
Yeah, like I think it was €75 a night.
That's nothing.
It's nothing. Like it was, yeah.
Wow, and we're starting to get a little stronger against the euro lately. So
yeah, like I think €75 probably like $80-85. I'm thinking. Yeah,
that's nothing at all.
It used to be a little bit more, but yeah. So
nice. Sorry. The other thing we did in Bamberg is we toured the Wireman maltery.
Nice.
That was great. They have a brewery there too.
Have you gotten the smoke out of your clothes yet?
I don't want to get the smoke.
Yeah, no, that stays in there.
That shirt never gets washed.
I may have brought all of my luggage just so I could infuse it.
There you go.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a great time.
Yeah, very much.
Awesome.
And that was this trip. I've been to Germany a few times. If people have never been to like Cologne or Dusseldorf, I also highly recommend that because you can't appreciate those beer styles unless you have them there.
Yeah. So from what I understand, if you're in Cologne and you've got a Kolsch, how the Germans pronounce it, Köln.
Kolsch, yeah.
The Kolsch, and then the town's Köln.
Yeah.
And you're sitting in a beer garden. You've got your Stange.
Yep.
And unless you put your on top of this coaster, on top of the Stange, they will just keep filling you up, and somehow or another they keep track of how much you've drank. To be able to charge you. By some magic, even though you could be halfway and they'll still top you off. They're doing the fractions in their head as
no. So what they do is they it's actually German efficiency.
Of course.
They have the keg come out of the basement on this little conveyor like a dumbwaiter. And this guy with his hand just pushes the tap in, opens the tap, and he just pours Stange after Stange after Stange. That's his job. That's all he does. He takes the empty Stanges over here, puts the full stangas over there, and then the servers, they call them Kobe's. The Kobe's come up
beef?
and they fill their tray. It's spelt exactly the same. Yeah. And so they fill their trays. Those trays are called kranzes. And then they walk around, and if your stange is almost empty, they will put down a full stange and then just put a tick on your bar mat. And the only way to stop them from doing that is to put your bar mat on top, and then they'll count the number of ticks and they charge you.
Very interesting.
Well,
Yeah, we're not getting over into the western side of Germany. We're sticking to the east because we're probably also going to go out to Prague for a few days while we're there, because I love Czech beer. Absolutely, probably one of my favorite nationalities of beers is Czech beer.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to be that close, because we were thinking of doing München and Berlin, and then I realized Prague's a lot closer than Berlin. And and both countries are EU, so you don't have a border crossing technically.
No.
You don't have to show your passport.
No, you don't have to change your currency.
It's like going from state to state now. So So why the hell not? Other than the fact that I could probably learn some German before I get there, I don't know if I can learn that much Czech.
Yeah.
But if you're in Prague, you don't need it as much.
It's beer. That's all you need to say.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Beer.
Pivo.
Pivo.
Yes.
Pivo.
Yeah, I already screwed it up. That's why
you need to know Pivo, and either it's I just forgot.
What?
Tomave Pivo.
Tomave Pivo. If you want the amber, Polo Tomave.
Yeah.
So, and then just Pivo if you want the pale.
Right. Exactly.
So
all right.
I need to know how to say pork in Czech, though.
It is how to say pork in Czech.
I don't think you have to learn how to say it, because I think
everything is
pork. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah, exactly. Meat. You need to say meat. That's it.
Yeah.
Meat. Yeah. All right. You up for your second?
Yeah. Who are you talking to?
I know you didn't say anything, so that's why I was curious. What the hell's going on?
I thought you're talking. Is Don's still on his first?
I am,
but Don's probably only doing.
It's a 19.2, so
it's a 19.2, so he's on his first and last.
There you go.
And it's 6.3%.
So this one was 4.6. This next one's a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And this is someplace John and I were this weekend.
Yep.
It's a beautiful brewery, Reddington, and they do this beer called Churchill. And one thing I love about this beer is it is a bitter, but it's an ordinary bitter.
They call it an ordinary bitter. Yeah,
it's not all that special, but
it's certainly not extra special.
No,
it's not even just regular special. It's just an ordinary bitter.
It's just an ordinary bitter. And
sounds like me. I'm ordinary and bitter. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, this beer is. It's a bit more than ordinary. I really do. I enjoy this one for a U.S. or even especially New Jersey brewed bitter. This one's quite yummy. I think they do a really good job with this. I think it's their most popular beer. Is it not, John?
Really?
It's one of their most popular beers.
If it's not the most popular, it's one of the most popular. So for an English bitter to be one of the most popular, in like pretty much almost the center of the northern Jersey, you're getting out into farmland when you get there. That's saying something. That means they're doing a hell of a job with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That is extremely rare that the bitter would be a brewery's flagship.
Yeah, when we're watching people purchasing their beer, every 4-pack that I saw purchased was Churchill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they only had 4.
And in the interest of full disclosure, they had other 4-packs. They didn't just have that 4-pack. But yeah, that was a fantastic beer. I had 2 full pours, one and a flight. The full pour, one of the full pours was that.
Yeah.
So
it's a good beer.
It is. My second beer is from Oregon, from Heater Allen Brewing, Harvest Lager. It's a German Pils.
Nice.
Called Harvest Lager. So
did that come in that box?
That was in the box. Yeah.
Okay.
That was
It's a 4 box.
It's a 4 box. Yeah, it's pretty.
Prost.
Prost. I'm covering up half the logo, but that's okay. You get the idea.
There's which logo? There's 3. I can see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There you go.
I can see 11 of those logos right now.
There you go. Yeah, 1, 2. There's a bunch back over here.
Yeah, on the cans.
The cans.
You've got another glass back there.
Another glass over there. Right, exactly. So, anyway.
This is like Where's Waldo? Find the Coastal logo.
Well, they are our sponsor, so they.
Yes, you are. I mean, they are.
So there you go. It's pretty tasty. It's really nice, solid German pills. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, all right. So let's switch gears from Europe. You went to Asheville for the first time.
Yes, first time in my life.
How did you enjoy that?
Wonderful. So, breweries aside, the whole town of Asheville has a very cool vibe.
Really cool vibe. Big time. Yeah.
As soon as even in the Uber, driving by the old Art Deco, there's quite a bit of Art Deco buildings.
Tons of Art Deco. Yeah.
The other thing, and sorry, flying in too, because people were saying, oh, you'll love the mountains, and I'm like, I live in Calgary. I'm 30 minutes from the Rocky Mountains. Like, you don't tell me about your mountains. Your mountains are crap. But those mountains are beautiful. They're completely different from our mountains, but they're beautiful mountains.
The Smoky Mountains are nice. They are.
Yeah.
And I've been to Asheville twice, and I drove both times. I didn't fly. I drove both times.
I drove when I went, and the Smokies are part of the Appalachians, which is, I think, if not one of the oldest mountain chains on the planet.
I think they told me oldest. Yeah,
I think it's the oldest. That's why they're so kind of
they built the Rockies much after the
the Rockies. Yeah.
Which is why they're still rocky, whereas the Appalachians are a bit rounded and
woody.
They're worn down.
More woody. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, for the Rockies, they had a long time getting the permits.
Right.
Yeah.
It took a long time, and then there was so many bids by contractors. It just deciphering it all it took forever. So.
Oh, and then the unions got involved, and
you forget about it.
Yeah. So city aside, great town, great breweries, very walkable city. Clean, friendly. And
a bit weird.
A little bit weird, but not crazy weird.
Well, when we were there, we saw 2 guys walking their pony down one of the streets.
Oh, okay. I did not.
That was interesting.
I gotta be honest with you. I know where Dave's going, because I saw a couple of interesting things. Not weird, like bad weird, right? Just
no, good weird.
Good
I love weird. I love
weird. Right.
That's why I should probably get to Portland one day. I hear that's a very weird town.
Just loves weird too. That's why she's with me. So right, exactly.
Austin, I would argue, is weirder as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear Austin's very weird. Portland, Oregon, and Austin, I hear, are 2 of the weirder cities in the States.
Yeah. But I didn't see a pony.
I did not see a pony. But the beer scene there, obviously, it has a reputation for a reason. Many good breweries.
Where'd you get? Where
did I go? I went to Dissolver.
Of course.
I went to Funkatorium.
Of course.
You have to.
I'm just trying to remember in order so I don't forget anything. Dissolver, Funkatorium. I went to a place called Foggy Mountain Brewing, which ended up not having any Foggy Mountain beer. So even though they call themselves brewing, was just a beer bar.
It was a beer bar, yeah.
Yeah, I had done my research, and I was going to go there. Went, they're not a brewery.
They're not a brewery, but I did. We actually, Justin and I did go there just to eat.
So okay. And then the next morning, I went to Wicked Weed. Boy, I'm already forgetting. Burial was next.
Yeah, gotta get to Burial. So did you if you checked out the bus, you would have seen his brewery sticker and my logo sticker on the bus.
Oh,
I put a few of each, or like on different sides of the bus.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're there.
Burial was the brewery I was probably most impressed with in terms of the breadth of the beer styles that they did well.
Yeah. They do a lot. They do a lot of different styles, and they do them all really well.
Yeah. So then from there, I walked to, I think it's called Catawba or Catawba.
Catawba, yeah.
Catawba. To be honest,
the barbecue next door is actually good. to
Oh, is that right?
Next to
Well, now you
Kentucky,
tell me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
And
Did you
the donuts on the other side are really
the donuts. The
I saw
donuts.
people lining up for those
Yeah,
donuts.
yeah.
We got lucky. We got to that place because we stayed in South Slope, 2 blocks from that place, and we got there before the line built.
Yeah.
Did you make it to Green Man?
Yes, I went to Green
Green
Man.
Man, yeah. Yeah, it's only around the corner from Kentucky.
It's right around the corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, did you go to the new brewery, or did you get to? Were you in the old tap room, or both?
I went to the old tap. I went to the new brewery by mistake originally. I like doing flights because I like trying different beers,
Sure.
and they don't serve flights there, so they sent me around the corner
Right.
where they do flights. So I did
Yeah,
that.
I made the mistake and went to the new brewery and missed the old tap room. We walked right past it. I went, "That's where we should have been."
Yeah.
So if you're taking notes at home, go to Asheville. If you're doing Green Man, go to the old tap
Go
room.
to the old tap room. Yeah, you got to go to the old tap room.
And then Highland, of course, is the OG craft brewery
Highland,
in that
Highland
whole
Brewery,
area.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, yeah.
and
And that is what a great space. That
No.
place is huge.
Yeah.
Now, wait, did you get up to Highland Brewing, or did you go to
No.
the to tap room in the
I went to the tap room in
tap
the
room.
downtown.
in the downtown
But
area?
but even so, that their flagship beer is called Gaelic Ale,
Yeah. Oh, God, so good.
and that beer is so good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's so good.
Amazing. And I'm always amazed because I like hazy IPA. I like all the new trendy things as well. But for a flagship, for an old flagship like that to still have lasting power and to still have wow power,
Yeah.
I think is great. And in fact, I don't typically drink more than one beer because one of a beer because I always want to try the new. I had 2 Gaelics. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
And I cannot stress how rare that is for
Yeah.
me to have 2.
Wow.
And I did.
If you do get back down, whenever you get back down to Asheville, go to it's probably about maybe a 10-15 minute ride from downtown.
Okay, that's not bad.
to the actual the brewery, the Highland Brewery. It's,
Okay.
it's huge,
We
it's beautiful.
we drove in from Richmond, so it was the first brewery we hit.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because it's the southeastern corner of Asheville, so it's the first one we hit, and the place is huge. They've got an event venue. They've got a frisbee golf course through the woods. You can walk through the woods. There is a woodland bar out into the woods.
It's amazing space. It's ridiculous.
And the place is huge. The merchandising area is the size of most breweries. Tap rooms.
Yeah. I'll be honest.
Sounds like you're talking about Sierra Nevada.
I'll be honest with you.
It's not that big.
No. I mean, Sierra Nevada and Mills River.
That's ridiculous.
Makes Highland look like a small tap room.
That's a Disneyland for
I did
beer.
go there, and that place is amazing.
It's amazing. That place is that's a Disneyland for beer.
They call it that, right? They call it Malt Disney World.
Malt Disney World.
Malt Disney World, and you can tell just as you drive in the driveway how much money has been put into this place before you even see it.
Yes,
it's just the driveway. You're like, oh my God, there's been some money put into this. Holy crap!
So
they will not tell you how many digits.
No, but one of the cool things, of course, Sierra Nevada takes a lot of pride in their environmental initiatives.
Oh yeah.
And how do you tear down all those trees for that driveway and call yourself an environmental guy?
Well, they repurposed all of them, right?
Exactly. When you sit in the bar, all of the wood is the trees.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And that bar,
I love that place.
What's great about that bar is you will get beers there made by Sierra Nevada. There, you will get nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because they're playing
on their pilot brewery, which is a 10-barrel system.
Yeah.
It's a 10 barrels
bigger than many other breweries.
That's their pilot system.
Their pilot system,
which is insane.
They told me as well that the restaurant there at Sierra Nevada is the busiest restaurant in North Carolina.
I
would believe it.
I believe it 100%.
Because what we did is we put our names in for the restaurant, then took the tour. Then went to the upstairs bar and drank up there for about an hour, and then came down for our table.
And got your table.
And had one of the best plate of mussels ever. They did mussels and they steamed it in tom yum gai.
Oh,
So gosh, who thinks of these things? Oh God, that was so good. So good.
So yeah, big fan. And then so just to complete the list, that was the end of that day was Sierra Nevada. And then the next day, I did go to Highline. Highline was my last
High Wire.
High Wire. I'm sorry, High Wire.
Yeah, I like them a lot. I love their brown ale. Yeah. Brown is so good.
And I went to the sake place next to High Wire. It's called Ben's.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's I'll think of it.
It used to be an old garage, so the name of the sake place is something like Ben's Auto Garage. Or
yes, absolutely.
Ben's, yeah. I had to take a picture next to my favorite. I mean, there's so much. Just go back to Sierra Nevada for a second. There's so much. There's so much to look at. It's everywhere.
So much.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Outside, inside, everywhere. And then they have all of their can art in big, huge banners on the wall. Of course, I had to take a picture by that.
There it is. And when I was there, I sent John a picture of every can and bottle through all the years of celebration for John, because they had that on the tour. And it's called Ben's Tune-Up, by the way.
Ben's Tune-Up. That's it. So one of the lucky things I got to do when I was at Sierra Nevada is I got to go behind the scenes. I got to go into the hop room and
how cool is that hop room?
But the best thing I got to do was that day that I was there, just by sheer coincidence, was the first packaging day of Celebration. The first packaging day this year of Celebration. And so they let me in to the to the bottling line, and I got to pull bottles of Celebration off the bottling line. And literally the freshest Celebration you can have.
You just do it, John. Do it.
I got something for you, Don.
Now the hops room. How many of those hops did you put in your pocket?
That
hops room's amazing. I love that hops room
because they bring a bucket.
Yep.
They go into one of the bins.
A literal, just for people who haven't been, like a garbage pail, a gigantic garbage pail. Yeah.
And they let you grab the hops in there. First, they have you grab one, rub it around, and smell it like every brewery does. That gives you a hop. But they let you grab hops out of that thing. And there they are. There they are. Not those things. They won't let you touch those hops. It's the ones they put in the bucket in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
And
then here's the Magnum one it's a much wider one.
Oh yeah. So I grabbed a handful of hops and shoved some in my pocket so that I could just smell those things all day.
It's sort of like how you were saying, my clothes still smell like smoked malt, but now your pants always smell like
your hops,
Centennial hops.
I do it anytime I'm on like one of those tours. So like, here, take some hops. Rub them in your hands. You can do it. So I take like literally as many as I can. I just rub them like this. They're like, wait, you're gonna get those hop oils all over your hands.
Like, oh, and I'm not washing my hands.
I'm just gonna go like this the rest of the day.
It's amazing too that obviously it's a larger craft brewery.
Sure.
But in that hop room, there must have been 6 or 7 staff members that all they do is measure hops out for the upcoming brews. It's like that's how big of a brewery they are. Yeah. Full time. What do? I shovel hops into buckets.
I measure hops. Yeah, measure hops in buckets. What else you do? That's it.
That's my job.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
it was great.
It sounds like you had an awesome time in Asheville.
Yeah, highly recommend. And for anybody who may be going to Asheville and think, Sierra Nevada, that's a 15-20 minute Uber ride away. It's not worth it. I'll stay in downtown Asheville.
No, it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's totally worth it.
Oh, totally worth it. If you're thinking, I'll wind up missing 2 other breweries because I won't have enough time to do everything.
Miss them.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. And if you went to those breweries and asked them what you should do, they would most likely tell you to miss them.
They're like, why are you here? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. No, it's truly amazing.
But that's interesting because, John, I did talk to a few of the people who worked in the breweries, and I asked them about Sierra, like, have they taken anything away from your traffic or that? They're like, no, if anything, they've enhanced the tourism into
like anything else. Absolutely.
Yep. and they're happy to have them there.
Yeah.
They find the size and opulence of the place a little disgusting, but in a beautiful way.
But I guarantee you, if any brewery in Asheville it's brew day and they're short on Magnum hops,
Oh yeah,
I guarantee you, Sierra Nevada comes to the rescue. Right?
Yeah,
you need some Chico
absolutely.
yeast. Well, who has you got the best source? No offense to White Labs and Weiss. If you want Chico yeast,
they're right there.
Yeah, they're right there. I got my trusty White Labs coffee mug right sitting on my.
There you go.
There.
But it's like, but like to your point, like the big breweries will do that, like Jim Cook during the hop shortage.
Sure.
Yep.
He was selling off hops at cost.
At cost. Yep.
And that's a beautiful thing. People think, oh, they're too big for that. No, they're not. They remember where they came from.
Oh yeah,
they remember.
Absolutely. 100%. All right, we did want to talk about we'll talk about Chicago, but that's going to lead into our top threes. Let's switch gears really quick to some national news. Dave, you brought this up a few weeks ago.
Actually, Kerry found the article.
I read through a couple of things after it. So why don't you take the lead on it? Go ahead.
So we came across this article. Kerry just read the headline, said, "Oh, let me send this off to Dave," and I read through it. I found some ridiculous things in it, but it's an interesting concept where they are now genetically engineering hops to throw specific flavors. And
you heard about this at all, Don?
No, I am aware of genetically engineered or gene edited yeasts to throw specific flavors,
sure.
or conversely to not throw flavors, so non-diacetyl yeasts. But there was a yeast lab as well that they engineered to throw off hop flavors without hops, for example. But
I remember that.
Yeah. I've not heard of this genetically engineered hop thing yet.
Yeah, they're doing it now to hops. And one of the things they're saying is it will avoid the need. How did they put it? If you want a mango beer, you just get one of the yeast that throws mango, and this way you don't have to go out and get fresh mangoes.
Right.
And then he starts talking about the environmental advantages, whereas that takes up land and, the amount of fertilizer that'll go into it. And I'm still thinking it's still a tree that's giving off oxygen. I don't understand your point here.
Yeah, really.
You've lost me. But I'm not, is this a good thing for beer? Is this a bad thing for beer?
I'm trying to find it. So I was going to email it to Doug, to Don really quick.
Are you asking me that question? Do you want my?
I am asking you that question
because I have opinions. I always have.
That's why we brought it up. We
knew you would have
inquiring minds want to know.
Yes.
I am of the view. I hate reductionist science. So I don't want people to think I'm a science denier. I think this gene editing technology is amazing, and to do certain things like preventing a yeast from producing diacetyl, I think that's kind of neat because it's a singular thing you're trying to do, not produce diacetyl. I think if you want a hop to produce mango flavors and you want to gene edit the hop to produce mango flavors,
I just emailed it to you.
The only way to do that is to reduce mango flavor to something. So let's say the identifying chemical of mango flavor is methyl whatever it is.
Trimethyl mango.
Right. Trimethyl mango.
There it is.
So we're going to engineer this hop to make trimethyl mango. But I would argue the beauty of a mango is not just the trimethyl. It's primarily trimethyl mango, but there's all the tertiary other parts per billion. And that's what will be missing from a hop you're made to taste like mango instead of mango.
Right. Yeah, you'll get this one flavor that's spot on mango, but all the other that's complementing it.
I need to correct something. It is yeast. It is Berkeley yeast.
It is Berkeley yeast.
Yes, it is Berkeley yeast.
Okay.
But they are talking about not just reducing diacetyl and other off flavors, but by actually having the yeast throw flavors.
Yeah. So I will the proof is always in the pudding, as the saying is, or in our case, the proof is always in the beer.
Yeah.
I would love to taste these beers. I'm super intrigued by these concepts, but I am a skeptic.
I'm more of I think I would call myself more of a purist. You've had your hop farmers for the longest time. They're performing, bringing Engel's work forward and doing these hybrids, going through all the work to get these hybrids to get these flavors. Also, they're taking the hybrids of this hop and this hop. I mean, I know we're talking yeast, but I'm going to transfer it to hops, and then taking the terroir and all that and finding flavors this way. Between that and the malts, those beers, when they can throw those flavors, let's face it, the brewery is mastery at this, where they can take all these different ingredients, find flavors without actually adjuncting. That's amazing. But you take these hybrid hops, combine it with the terroir, and then you get a flavor like Sabro, right? It's not genetically modified to throw coconut.
Right.
It is hybrided, and the terroir contributes to it to get your coconut. Yeast has its job. It has two jobs, right? It provides the alcohol. It provides the carbonation. Yes, you also do get esters. You do get your phenols, phenols, and all that. So you do get some flavors off of it. But to me, I would rather see, if you're going to get flavors out of yeast, I would much rather see a hybridization than genetic modification. Because otherwise, we're going to literally get Hopzilla just running rampant and just destroying Tokyo. And no one wants that.
So Hopzilla, would it be Malthra?
Malthra. There we go. Malthra and Hopzilla. I'm sure.
I had to go there.
I'm sure we can continue along those routes of putting beer puns, and we do have one of the king punsters on the planet. And tomorrow is Aiden the Bet Punsters Day, by the way. Don.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yes, it is.
I even, I'll go so far as to say that, and we were talking about Sierra Nevada a few minutes ago. Sierra Nevada, to the extent possible, wants whole leaf hops. They believe, rightly or wrongly, they believe that there's a difference between the flavor that you get from a whole leaf hop versus a T90 pellet or a T45 pellet. So if that difference, if the 10% green matter loss creates flavor differences, then how the hell is genetically modifying it not going to create, how the hell is genetically modified yeast going to create a mango flavor that's 100% mango flavor and not just 90% mango flavor or 75%?
Right. Exactly. You know what? I mean, I love it doesn't make any sense that it would do that. I'd like you said too. I would, to your point, I would try it because I'll try, just for the science behind it, right? Just for the just to see, okay, what did they actually do?
Or just because it's different, because
or whatever
it could be incredibly delicious. I'm not saying anything about that.
We've all drank beer.
Yeah.
And some of us who have been there have drank Rocky Mountain Oyster Stout.
Yes.
So, you just if it's different, it's there. You try it.
Yeah.
So I get that, but you look at this, and is this not GMO? Right. This is GMO yeast.
Right.
So anybody who's anti-GMO who's drinking these beers, excuse me, it's not labeled GMO, but this is actually GMO, genetically modified.
Sure.
So, and there's conspiracy theorists that will say this will turn into Hopzilla. I'm joking about that, but rewriting the DNA, then ingesting rewritten DNA, it's not going to change your DNA. Yeah. It's not going to do anything to your DNA. just
sitting on the microwave might, but
that, more than likely. So yeah, we just wanted your opinion on that as out there, and I apologize that I misrepresented it off the get-go. But yeah, this is the Berkeley yeast. So this is not new news, but it is it's something to put out there, something to discuss.
You also, Dave, I'm assuming you're opening your third beer there.
I is.
So let's do that, and then I'll bring up the other thing too. You are, for your third beer, you are drinking.
I am drinking another place that I was at. John was not.
I met you afterwards. Yes,
he met me afterwards. Sunken Silo.
They've been on the show.
They have been on the show, and I had to pick this one up because it's called Bearded Flannel Cat.
7.4% NEPA. Holy cow!
Yeah, this is why I work from home on Wednesdays.
And it's not a double New England IPA, right?
It's a single. And it's funny, I tell my bosses, like, yeah, no, I do a craft beer podcast Tuesday nights, so I work from home on Wednesdays because I need that extra hour to recollect things. Sunken Silo does some really good things, and what's weird about Sunken Silo, they're a little further out than Reddington, so you're getting even more into farmlands, woodlands in New Jersey, and yes, we have farmlands and woodlands in New Jersey.
We have more farmlands and woodlands in New Jersey than we have anything else.
Yep. So. It's just that everyone's only going from New York to Philadelphia, which is the turnpike, and what you see off the turnpike is not New Jersey.
Right.
But what's interesting...
Very, very small section of New Jersey.
I was not aware of anything in New Jersey other than Cake Boss.
Not The Sopranos?
I actually, believe it or not, never watched that show. So
never did.
Oh, thank you for that.
There you go.
Or how about
anyways, you keep talking, Doug. I interrupt you.
No, that's fine. We love left turns here. No, what I love about what's interesting about this place is when you look at their IPAs. Any other brewery, most other breweries in the state, you look at their IPAs and they're all overrated. Right, because you've got your haze boys. Oh my God, this is hazy. This is hoppy. I love it. Did you actually dive into any of the off flavors, the quality of it? No, it's hoppy and hazy. They love it. So they get these high ratings. Sunken Silo's IPAs, I feel, are underrated. They are consistently below 3.8 on Untapped, which makes you think, well, maybe their IPAs aren't good. No, it's just where they are just seems to have a different palate. And I love that.
More for you that way. There's less.
No, because that brewery's always packed.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that they're right next to a seafood place where you can get takeout.
Yep.
So what's the interesting thing is, I don't know if this is a positive or a minus, but the brewery always smells like people eating seafood because people are always eating seafood in the brewery. And not always the best aroma for enjoying your beer, but hey, the seafood's good there.
Seafood's very good there.
But I see, here you go. There's your bearded flannel cat right there.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
Bearded flannel cat. There you go. And he and that guy actually brewed that beer he's drinking too. So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a werecat. They brew it only at the full moon. So lycanthropy strikes again.
Yeah. Lycanthropy. On that note, I actually wanted to bring up the fact that I'll open my third one in a minute. Dave, you before the article came out on the Berkeley East.
You're talking about the other article.
The other article, yeah. You were talking about the decline in overall, and I did some research on it. I don't think it was craft beer sales. I think it was overall beer sales.
No, it was what I read was a craft beer sale, a overall loss of market within spirits of all alcoholic beverages. Mm-hmm. That craft beer for the first time took a step back.
It was only like 2%. It was small.
Yeah, but every gain that craft beer has made has either been 1%, 2%, or 3%.
Right.
So this is a full year. Now, caveat that with this was the half year report. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I think some of the factors that dropped beer sales for that half year, I think may go away in the second half of the year.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you know what? I mean, I'll give you mine, and then Don weigh in. That's what we wanted you to do. I personally feel, the first half of the year, you're looking at Memorial Day weekend, you're looking at bigger weekends like that. Getting into the summer, coming up on 4th of July weekend, there's going to be a lot of sales more, and it's got to be RTDs and it's seltzers that are I feel that's what's taken away some of the market share. But please let me know your opinion. Let us know your opinion.
Yeah, I think it's 2%, which isn't a huge number, but it's the first ever negative number.
Right.
Yeah.
For craft beer market share. And
it's just as big as any positive number.
Yeah, I mean, in the heyday, there was positive numbers of 10%, for example. But I take your point. So I think it is interesting. I do think that there's been, well, I mean, to your point, people have seemed to have discovered seltzers and all that. There seems to be a shift away from beer as a category, so it's not a craft beer thing per se. But still, we still have brewery openings outpacing brewery closings. Mm-hmm. So if the pie is getting smaller and people are still fighting for a piece, if more people are still fighting for a piece, then what does that mean? I do think that there has to be some shakeout. There has to be some, and there have been some closures. I just read Smutty Nose just got acquired by some brewery that I'd never heard of, which I think there's just going to be more of it. There just has to be more of it.
Yeah.
I think gone are the days, and nobody opening a brewery today is going to be the next Sierra Nevada. Like, I think that there's only market room for so many Sierra Nevada.
Well, I'm hoping one can.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm kidding.
I do think that the idea of having a local brewery, I think there's lots of room there still. But I also think it's business. I mean, it's natural business cycle that, when
it's
I'm tired. Go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say it's like anything else. I mean, it's not like every other business, every other possible, be it a bar, be it a restaurant, be it a movie theater, be it whatever. There's going to be openings. There's going to be closings. There's going to be people going to more restaurants this month and less restaurants the next month, and so there's going to be an ebb and flow for everything.
I never hear a new restaurant's opening. If a restaurant closes, I never hear the media talking about how the restaurant bubble is burst.
Right.
Yeah, it's all over for restaurants.
Right.
Even our smallest state just recently lost 2 of their breweries.
They did.
Rhode Island just lost 2 breweries within the past month.
2 weeks, really. Even
2 weeks,
2 weeks, yeah.
And
leaving how many? Do you know? How
many? They had 30 something. So
so that's a significant number.
That's a significant percentage for them. Yeah. Finest Kind is the parent company for Smutty Nose, and Finest Kind just also acquired 5 Boroughs Brewing.
That's the one. Yeah.
So 5 Boroughs did not buy Smutty Nose. Smutty Nose owner Finest Kind bought, so they're now part of the same.
I had read that backwards, actually. So
that's what's going on there.
And that was Smutty Nose had been that's the new owner, because the original Smutty Nose family.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
had sold to them. It's probably about 4 or 5 years at this point.
Yeah.
Another thing that's happening that I think is starting to eat into craft beer is craft spirits. Yeah. Craft spirits are becoming more popular. And I think that is one of the factors, because we look at seltzers, and as we get into the colder months, maybe more people are turning to beer and away from seltzers. Seltzers is very much a summer thing.
Sure.
So maybe that's a temporary thing, but craft spirits and your what's the acronym you use for the cocktails in a can?
RTDs, ready to drink.
Ready to drink. So these cocktails in a can. I think they might be more of a permanent factor in craft beer sales. Now, I don't know how negative they'll be. You look at most of the craft distilleries, a lot of the craft distilleries are near craft breweries, partner with craft breweries. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite breweries, Ghost Hawk. You walk out their door, hang a right, and you're walking through the door, Silk City Distillers. They're right there. Magnifies right next to Garden State Distilling.
Jersey,
Jersey,
JNS, Jersey.
Yeah, it's John and Susan, Jersey,
JS, Jersey State, Jersey.
No,
Jersey Spirits,
Jersey Spirits. Oh yeah, just Jersey Spirits Distilling.
Jersey Spirits, yeah.
So you see that partnership. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but there's a lot of factors. There's now also the factor. One thing they pointed to was people being more health conscious. As health conscious as people get. And let's face it, there was this whole health craze in the 70s with, sweating to the oldies and, the Thigh Master and all that. That never.
Or the 80s, but yeah.
80s, yeah. Never impacted beer sales.
No.
Never impacted beer sales. So I don't think that's it. But then you get another factor we didn't talk about. You're now getting the NAs, the non-alcoholic beers coming out.
But they're still not. They're not going to take. They're not going to take market share away from craft beer because they are craft beer.
Are they considered craft beer?
Yeah, no, they are. Craft beer.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things there. We'll see if craft beer makes a comeback in market share for the second half.
I'm sure they will because look, if it is indeed right, if it is indeed RTDs and seltzers and the summer and body conscious and I don't want to say health conscious, but body conscious summer, right? All right, we're in the fall now. We're heading to the winter. That's out the window, right? Yeah, yeah. They'll worry about that in March or April. They're not worried about that right now. So, the heavier clothes are on. The good health, the good hearty food is on the table.
It's chilly weather. I'm not talking cold. I'm talking.
Right. It's time to put some meat on your bones. So drink the beer and enjoy.
As a matter of fact, I've got to make Popperkosh soon. I love Popperkosh.
There you go. I'll just throw my my third beer up. It's from Highwire.
No throwing up.
Oh yes.
Red Rye Lager.
That's a good beer.
Yeah.
I don't think I had that when I was there.
It's a Red Rye Lager with Epiphany Craft Malt. They actually put it
nice
on the label.
I've never heard of them. Epiphany. Okay.
Epiphany. They're local in North
Very
Carolina,
cool.
but I'm turning it. I'm trying to, it's backwards, the camera. So.
No, we got it.
It's backwards to you. It works for us.
Yeah.
There you go.
We can read it.
So yeah, this is a fantastic beer. I really like this beer.
Oh, I have not had that one. No.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, when you only have one at a brewery, Don. Actually, or if you probably got a flight there, correct?
I got a flight, yeah. But it did not include that one.
That's such a good beer. And they make one of my favorite brown ales too.
I mentioned that one earlier.
Bed of Nails. Yeah, it's a
Bed of Nails. So
it's
good.
a really good brown ale. Yeah. You know me and brown ales.
Yep.
Actually have a I over the last
that one either.
Over the last 3.5 weeks, I've accumulated 15 brown ales and 15 Schwartz beers and or dark Czech lagers, either or, they're just dark lagers, right?
Yeah.
Black lagers, that I have to, I'm going to start chipping away at. I'm going to do a couple of articles.
You poor thing.
Yeah. I'm going to do a big top, not top 15, obviously they're not necessarily my favorites or not, but I'll put that together. So that's going to be fun work. Right.
Yeah. So, every one of those top this or top that beer lists, they're always so divisive because they're always so
it's opinion. It's all it is. It's opinion.
But it's always wrong because it's always going to be wrong because there's no way anybody can write these are the top 10 any IPAs in this country. Have you drank every single
one? Right.
You can't possibly.
No. Right.
Even when they say, "Oh, here are the top breweries in every state," based on what?
Yeah.
It's and if you're doing it by the quality of the beer, did you get to every friggin' brewery?
There was
Rhode Island might be one of the few brewery states that you could actually do that.
Right.
But
also, if you're going to rate a brewery, you can't rate it on one beer. So you can't taste every beer at every brewery.
Right. And are you rating?
You can't go there. You can't go there and have an IPA here, a brown ale there, and a Pils there, and say
rank
I like that one. I don't like that one. That one's okay. You can't do that.
And sticking with Rhode Island as a as an example here, you got your breweries that are very IPA heavy. You got your breweries that are very pastry stout heavy.
Sure.
There's one up in the northwest corner of the state, which is very German and English style heavy. And they have some IPAs because they have to keep the lights on. So, and how do you compare one brewery to the other? And then there's the feel of the brewery to take into account. The staff, there's so much that goes into rating a brewery. So, and any of these lists are suspect, just the fact that you made a list.
Which brewery is that you're referring to in the northwest corner of the state?
Why did you have to ask me? I can't remember the name right now, you jerk. I can picture them. I can tell you in a minute.
This beer is really good. I'm just enjoying this very much. While he looks for that, Don, you just got back. Literally, you've been everywhere in the last 3 weeks, right? But you literally just got back the other day from Chicago.
Yep.
You were at the Festival for Wood and Barrel Aged Beers.
Yep.
So that's
it's called Bravo Brewing, John.
Oh, Bravo. Yeah, of course. Bravo.
Yeah, you found it.
I thought for a minute you were talking about. It obviously didn't make sense after I thought about it for a second. I thought you were talking about Nicole.
She's not in the northwest corner.
She's not in the northwest corner. She's north, but not north.
No, she is the adjunct queen.
She's the adjunct queen. Yeah.
Yes.
She makes what's the Neapolitan brown ale.
The Neapolitan brown ale is spectacular. You can taste the strawberry, you can taste the chocolate, you can taste the vanilla.
Mm-hmm. And it's a brown ale. Yeah.
For strawberry and the strawberry shortcake, you can taste the strawberries. You can taste the cream.
What's funny, Don? We had probably about 3 years ago now. We had her on the show, right? And Dave was actually at the time he was living up in Rhode Island, so he was. He was. No,
I had just moved back to Jersey.
Oh, you just moved back. Okay. So she comes on the show and we're talking, and she's talking about the Neapolitan brown ale, and it's registering. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I've had this beer. So while we're talking, Dave's talking or whatever, I check on Untapped. I not only had the beer, I had the beer at the Newport Craft Beer Festival with her and had a conversation with her like 5 years earlier. So, it's funny. You gotta love that. But anyway, so you were in Chicago at the Festival of Wood and Barrel Aged Beers.
Yep.
Tell us about that. I'm curious to hear about that.
Yeah, big fan. It was my first time.
Mm-hmm.
So they do everything barrel aged in terms of mixed firm with fruit,
mm-hmm.
Imperial stouts, porters, that sort of thing. So I think barrel aged is a broader category than people think.
Right. So
in terms of there being 400 different barrel aged beers that you might want to try,
mm-hmm.
They have them. And what is interesting is that they divide the sections of the festival by beer style. So whereas if you go to GABF, for example, and you want to have all the high wire beers, all the high wire beers are where high wire is.
Right.
But that's not the way FOBAB does it. They'll have all the imperial stouts together. They'll have all the mixed firm together. They'll have the mixed firm with fruit together. And so you can work your way around the floor that way, which I thought was quite interesting.
That's cool.
That is. I actually do like that. It's going to be confusing to put together. Not confusing, but a little harder to put the
festival together.
Put the festival together,
for sure.
But and the logistics of everything. But that's a pretty cool way to do it, though. Yeah.
And where do the volunteers from the breweries pour? Do they have to pour in every section where they have a beer?
No. So
they have their own volunteers.
I think it's volunteers of the festival.
Right, okay.
And so the festival has garnered a reputation, and it is the one that the brewers want to go to. Maybe because they don't have to work.
Yes, they can actually go up
because
because a person that we won't mention again on the show would actually make sure that they only brought like 1 or 2 sixtels so they kick early, so they can wander out to the festival afterwards.
Yeah.
No, it was great. I may have been to those.
The other great thing about that festival is that they don't oversell it.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's important.
Yeah. So you walk around and it's of course it's crowded, but it's not crazy crowded. I don't think I waited for beer more than 1 minute. Like,
wow. Yeah, because I've been to festivals that are oversold where once you get your pour, you find your next line.
Right. And stand in line
And
while
stand in
Enjoy
line.
your beer while you're
and you're not even halfway through by the time your beer is gone.
Yeah.
And that's no way to run a festival.
Right. No, you can't do that, which is why, like GABF every year, you got to go Thursday night or the first session on Saturday. Those are the two sessions to go to. You can't go to Friday. You can't go to either Friday session or the Saturday late session. You have to go to Thursday night or the early Saturday session.
Yeah.
Or just focus on, like, understand that if you're going to GBF and you want to try a popular brewery, you need to go when you say, John, but Saturday night is a good time to go to the breweries that you've never heard of.
Because everybody's going to be at
exactly
the big ones
at GABF.
Right.
So,
visit the breweries. Yes.
Oh, visit. Exactly.
No. So yeah. Anyways, Fobab, great festival. Highly recommended. Again, it was my first time. I'll go back to that for sure. Even a simple thing is they host it in an arena, and so part of the festival floor is on the arena floor, and then another portion is the ring above the seating.
Right.
Okay.
And then the seats are all there. So grab a beer, have a seat, have a seat, chat with your friends.
They have it in Joe Louis Arena.
They have it in it's called Credit Union 1 Arena.
Credit Union 1, yeah.
Which was Joe Louis, wasn't it?
Right, which is the
Bulls,
where the Bulls
and
play.
the Blackhawks.
Bulls and the Blackhawks, yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that was Joe. That was Joe Louis Arena.
It's a pretty small arena
until they sold the naming.
Pretty sure. It was.
I think so.
It's a pretty small arena.
What was the name of the arena again?
Credit Union 1.
That sounds like it would have been
and then Chicago's a great beer town, like went to a few breweries and Maplewood, for example, and it was great. Yeah, I did.
It's not. No, it's not.
It's
University of Illinois, Chicago. University of Illinois, Chicago. Arena, yeah.
Because Joe Louis Arena is still Joe Louis Arena.
Joe Louis Arena.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
There's that whole area over there, right, where the University of Illinois, Chicago, which there, it's one of the shows I watch. Whatever. You ever, just quick aside, you ever see Chicago Fire or Chicago PD?
No.
The Law and Order series. It's the same Dick Wolf. He does those too. It's out of Chicago, right? They're all filmed. It's on location right around that whole section of Chicago. Anyway, so
you watch a show based on firefighters?
Yeah.
Go figure.
Imagine that. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, no, it's something that I've been wanting to go to. That's why when I saw you were out there, I'm like, I got to get out there. I got to put on my schedule, my calendar to go to. Get out there next year.
It's the Friday session starts in the evening, so you can actually fly in Friday and still make the evening session, and then the Saturday session is in the afternoon. It ends at, I think it's 5:00. Okay. So so then I stayed the Sunday and took a late flight out on Sunday night, so that gave me Sunday to visit a few breweries. So
gotcha.
It's a pretty, and Chicago's a big flight hub. So
sure.
Quick
go to O'Hare or Midway.
O'Hare, yeah.
O'Hare, yeah.
Midway's not a big flight hub.
No, it's small. Small.
Small.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you can go up and you can get in and out of there. Sometimes easier than going to O'Hare.
O'Hare is huge.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, so it was great. Highly recommend it.
And O'Hare has a few Goose Island brew pubs in it.
Yeah.
Not that I saw, but I think you're right. I just wanted to stay near my gate, and I couldn't find a good.
Oddly enough, and not similar to what I said about Asheville, but not because of the same reasons or whatever. But I've been to Chicago a few times, never once flown. Always drove.
Oh, really?
It was either on a trip or part of a trip, or just drove to Chicago.
So you've never been in O'Hare?
I've never been. I've been by O'Hare. I've never been in O'Hare.
That is really rare.
I've been in O'Hare a few times. I've actually slept in O'Hare, like many people who have gone through O'Hare.
That's the thing about flight hubs is that missed flights and all that. People have slept in O'Hare.
Flown everywhere else around there, Minneapolis, everywhere else. Never flew to Chicago. Anytime I was in Chicago, it was a drive-through or a drive-to.
John drives to so many places. I always thought he was like the John Madden of beer, where he's just afraid to fly, so he'd have to bus everywhere or drive everywhere. But I've heard the fact that he actually will fly occasionally.
No, I do. But you know, it's funny though. There's a little truth to that. Not because of what you were just saying, but there's a lot to see in between destinations.
Yes.
So
it's the journey, not the destination.
Right. So if you can take the extra time to get there and get back, and still spend the amount of time you want to there, drive.
Well, that's why when I went to Asheville, I drove because our first stop and an overnight, Richmond.
Yep.
Another great beer city.
Yeah, we did the same. We did the same thing in February. We drove to Richmond, then we went down to Asheville, and then came back up.
How good was that barbecue?
Oh, ZZQ.
ZZQ, the best.
Is so good.
The brisket should be illegal.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, because we did that, Don, when we went to GABF this year. We did the same thing. We drove, Matt, I, and Jim. We drove to Nashville, right? But we didn't drive to Nashville. We drove to Richmond, stayed there 5 hours in the car, stayed there the rest of the day, the evening. Drove to Asheville, same thing. Then go to Nashville, and then we worked our way back like a week later when we were leaving. But not the only reason, but one of the reasons was because I had to have ZZQ again. So I had to go to Richmond.
You said GABF. You meant CBC.
I meant
right?
CBC. I meant CBC.
CBC.
Yeah.
So, I'm like trying to figure. So he went to Nashville.
No,
and then all the way to
CBC.
Denver.
Are you, Don? You going to Vegas in April?
I've already booked my hotel, not my flight.
There you go.
Yes.
All right.
There you go.
I will. We will. If I don't see you somewhere for something before then, I'll see you in Vegas. So
It's going to be an interesting CBC for sure.
it is going to be interesting.
There'll be a different.
There will be people who have bought tickets that will be lost before it even begins.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually did contemplate not going, and then I found a good hotel deal, so that told me I should go.
I'll tell you what. When we were talking about you getting to Jersey and seeing a couple of things, if you're going to CBC in 2025
in Philly,
so you can pop over into Jersey. We'll hit up a couple of things.
Extend the trip.
Yeah,
and John's got a guest room.
Yeah, I could do that. I could fly into Philly, take the Amtrak to Jersey, and then because I haven't visited.
The Amtrak goes nowhere near John.
Does it? Okay.
No, but I mean, you can
get to Sea Caucus.
He can take Well, he doesn't have to go that far. He can take the Amtrak up to
Newark,
Princeton.
Oh, okay.
Princeton, and then hop off and go the Northeast Corridor, come down the North Jersey coastline, and bing, bang, boom. So you train it around that way. Yeah, there's a bunch of options. You don't have to go all the way up to North Jersey to come back down.
Or we can always come get you.
Well, I'll be there. So
yeah.
Well, you're driving, so I'll just get a ride with you.
It's 45 minutes for me to get to Philly. So.
Oh, okay.
So we can we can drive, go meet you, drive you back via human robot.
This is
I've heard good things about human robot.
You did not hear wrong, my friend.
I will always hit, if I'm in the Philly area, I've got to go to human robot.
Oh yeah,
for the beer and the sandwiches. They've got a sandwich shop in there called Poe's. Their chicken sandwiches are to die for.
Poe as in Edgar Allan?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I believe that's how they named themselves, was that after Edgar Allan.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong there. I tend to make shit up occasionally, so
occasionally.
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story.
So the sandwich shop is called Poe's, and it's in
human robot. Yeah.
You got a QR code on the tables.
Yeah.
You scan that. You order right at the table, pay right on your phone, and they just bring it to where you are.
So please tell me Human Robot has a beer that they call Quaff the Raven.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That would be.
And finally, what we are an hour 23 into the show, and Don Tse tells his first damn pun.
Quaff the Raven. Come on, that's awesome.
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%.
It took you this long.
You had to give me the opening.
I'm sure there were more. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, no, Human Robot, really, really good beer. They do the Pilsners and lagers very well. They do IPAs very well. And that's where you hit with them.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of breweries around them. As a matter of fact, you go into Fishtown from there, and you've got other half's got a brewery there. They fell into the bones of Goose Island.
Other half's opening. Other half's opening, and they fell into the bones of the same space. In fact, the last time I was there, which was right after they opened last year, all of the branding on the entire brew house and all the fermenters still said Goose Island. But whatchamacallit, other half's actually opening in Chicago now.
Yeah, they're taking over an old theater.
Old theater, yeah, an old big theater that's been closed for many years. It's 100 years old, or just
the only reason they didn't tear it down because they're trying to get it on the list of the Register of Historical.
Yeah. So they're going and they're taking it. Apparently, from what I heard, they're not actually going to brew there. So they're just opening it as a tap room.
But they're going to be freaking global soon.
Yeah, it'll get there.
Guess what? They're in Philly, they're in DC, they're going into Chicago. They've got, if you count the summer pop up in Rockefeller Center, they've got 4 spaces in New York.
They have 4 spaces in New York. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, that's a lot of space.
There's
a lot of places to run.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, the pop up in Rockefeller Center is a can only thing, and they just.
That's still
cool as full camp. It's still
Rockefeller
a spot.
Center too.
It's freaking Rockefeller. Well, it's just off. You've got to look for it.
Okay, but still,
you walk in towards where the tree would have been, where you've got the guy above where the rink would have been.
Yeah,
because it's summer, so that's not going. You go there, you make a left, and you just look to see a lot of people drinking hazy beers that almost pretty much all taste the same, and you found it.
You can't tell me the rent there's cheap either, though.
No, not at all.
But they're right in the middle of the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
So they're
even better. I mean, all the foot traffic.
Yeah, they're between 2 buildings, so you could be just walking by, going, and they're what are they? They're right next to the Nintendo store. So that's not a bad spot for them to be. Not a bad spot for them to be.
Not at all. So, well, anyway. Actually, it's funny we're talking about Chicago. I actually heard that news. Doug Velke. He's from he does beer. What is he on Instagram? Beer aficionado.
Yes,
on Instagram. He does a lot of reels and stuff like that. He's one of the marketing managers, one of the marketing directors for Revolution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he he just put it up the other day that the space and everything else. And the space is actually in South Chicago. It's close to, it's only a couple blocks away from where the White Sox play in South Chicago.
Comiskey Park.
Comiskey Park. Yeah. Well,
it's not called Comiskey anymore.
Not it's still Comiskey Park, whatever it is. Yeah. All right. We talked about Chicago. We talked about Festival of Wood and Barrel Aged Beers.
Yeah.
So tonight's top 3 list is a riff on that. Our top 3 list is top 3 favorite barrel aged beers. We've done top 3 favorite barrel aged stouts before, but we've never done top 3 favorite barrel aged beers. So they can be stouts, barley wines, whatever, barrel aged sours if you want, whatever. Top 3 favorite barrel aged beers. Don, please take us away.
And interestingly enough, even though we've done barrel aged stouts, we are not limiting this list to exclude stouts.
No, not at all.
Thank God, because my first one. So I'm still updating my database for all the beers I tried at Fobab, but I tried dozens, and the one there at Fobab that blew me away the most was a classic. So it's the first of my top 3. It's Goose Island, Bourbon County.
It's hard not to put on any barrel-aged list, despite what their ownership is.
Hey, you want to hate it, and then you drink it, and God damn it.
Funny story for you. John knows I am actually militant about not giving any money to AB InBev whatsoever. So I went to a beer festival once, and I drank Bourbon County brand stout.
Yeah.
And people got on my case. They're like, oh, I thought you would never drink anything for AB InBev. I said, I would never give
I'm
my
not
money
giving
to
you
it.
money.
They said, but you paid to get into the festival.
Mhm.
I'm like, the tickets were comped. God damn it. So I can drink it with a good conscience because I gave no money for this beer.
And you have,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're defending yourself. You have no regrets. It is a
None.
beautiful
None.
beer.
It's the standard.
Yep.
And it's a very, very high standard that not everyone can reach.
Do you want all three of me, or are we
Yeah,
taking turns?
no, all three.
All three. All three.
Okay, my second one is my favorite Lambert producer is Dre Fontaine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God,
And
yes.
of course, all of their beers are barrel aged.
And everyone from every Yoon fans going, "What's wrong with you? Yoon's so much better."
No,
It's not.
no, it's not. And then specifically, any one where they put Armand's name on it, Armand, those versions of Dre Fontaine.
I've never had
Are
any
they?
of those.
Yeah, they are.
Oof.
I just find them more complex. They show the barrel more. I get more of the woody oaky flavor in them, and the mixed firm. Sorry, the fermentation character of it I find richer than in many other lambic producers, which I find too acidic.
So for you, is it straight up lambic, the blend of the Udaguza, or is it a creek? Is it framboise? Where do you trend?
I tend to like blends, non-fruited.
Okay.
Non-fruited blends.
Yeah.
So an Udaguza is right in your wheelhouse.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then my third barrel-aged beer, because I like bringing things out of left field, is, and since Dave, you're going to the Czech Republic soon, my third barrel-aged beer is Pilsner Urquell from the barrel.
From the barrel.
Which you can only get at the brewery.
Wait a second. They still have wooden barrels?
They do. Yeah. And
because they used to have wooden brew kettles.
Yeah, no, so they just have the wooden barrels now. Yeah.
I'm sorry, wooden fermenters. The fermenters were wooden for them.
Yeah, I don't think they do that anymore.
No. What happened was, and John and I have spoken about this a few times in the show, it's a huge lament, was that when the wall came down and the Iron Curtain fell and the SSRs were released and did not have to follow communism anymore, Urquell was allowed to finally upgrade their equipment. Much to the dismay of every Urquell lover out there, because taking those wooden fermenters out and replacing them with stainless steel ripped the soul out of that beer. It is still, don't get me wrong, Urquell is still a fantastic beer.
Yeah.
And I do plan on visiting. And it's like we're sounding like the old guys. Well, back in the old days but I swear to you, back in those days before the curtain came down and that wall fell, the Urquell had such a richer flavor to it. It was fantastic. It was just, and that is one of my greatest laments in the beer world, was the loss of what Urquell was.
Yeah. Well, if you go, you can still have it from the barrel.
There you go.
And again, you can only have that at the brewery. So
give me one more reason to go.
Yeah.
It was already on the list. It just went higher on the list.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Samurai.
I'm sorry. I still need a moment here. Urquell out of wood. Oh God, I think I just got wood. That's just, wow. That's a dream. I never thought.
Acronyms earlier. TMI. Thank you.
Okay. But wow, Urquell out of wood again. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I needed a moment.
You needed a moment.
Where were we?
Your top 3 barrel-aged beers.
3. Okay, I've got 5.
I'm shocked.
I do have 5. And they're kind of lumped because 2 of them are Jersey.
That's funny. 2 are minor Jersey too.
One is bourbon barrel aged driftwood.
Mm-hmm.
Bourbon barrel aged driftwood.
Is this your are these honorable mentions?
No, there's one. It's there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in no particular order.
You got to give me 2 honorable mentions. And
so have fun putting that into your spreadsheet, John.
Okay, so all right, the first two you give me are your honorable mentions as far as the spreadsheet.
Oh no. This is the first two I'm mentioning are Jersey, and you're going to put the first 2 jerseys honorable mentions.
Well,
that's your fault.
You give them to me as you see fit, then, sir.
If you want to do that and disrespect our friends, you go right ahead. But no, barrel aged driftwood. That is a brown ale. That is a beautiful beer. And man, I just love that. The next one is World Turn Upside Down. This is one that Carton released during COVID. It is, I forget what style that one is. What is that one, John? Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember. I'll think of it. I'll just look it up. Hang on.
Yeah, look that one up for me. But that one, and what was great is they actually sold little tasters.
The World's Turned Upside Down. It's a barley one.
That's right. It is a barley one. And they even sold little tasters to go with it.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So got those. It says right there, World Turned Upside Down.
They should have printed that upside down.
You have a taster and it's not in storage? I'm shocked. It's like
no, it is written upside down.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay. Thank God.
And you want another honorable mention? You've got to put Shipwreck into there, which is a rum barrel aged porter.
I don't need another honorable mention.
I'm going to make you work.
Okay.
Work it. The next grouping are ones that one beer kind of represents a whole series.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Eclipse.
Oh,
yeah.
Can I change my answer?
And for me, my favorite one, 2014's Woodford Barrel Aged Eclipse. To me, just that one blew me away. It made my toes curl.
Yeah.
Oh God, they
had a Java one that I loved too.
Oh, I never had that one.
Oh my God.
2014 just regular or which adjunct?
Woodford.
Oh, the Woodford one, yeah.
The Woodford barrel aged one. That one was special. Every one of those beers are special.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just different levels of special, and this was the highest level of special for me. Eclipse those things. And the thing is, my brother, I'm so aggravated with him because when he got married, he was going to get married in Lake Tahoe. Guess where I was going? I was going to Eclipse because at any time they have how many 50/50s on tap?
Is that right? I didn't know they have them all on.
Oh, not all of them, but I think
a bunch of them. Yeah.
They have a bunch of the 50/50s on tap at Eclipse.
A friend of ours went in before a bottle share, probably a couple of years ago at this point, went into a bottle store, and they had all like 2-year-old Eclipse bottles and several of everything that they wanted to get rid of because they were 2 years old. So they sold them all for $3 each.
Oh my God.
He said, "How many you have?" He said, 15.
I'll take them all.
I will take them. Thank you. He put it for them all.
$45. You will pay that for one bottle.
One. Yes.
Oh my God. When are we doing a bottle share again?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
That guy won the lottery.
Exactly.
I don't buy lottery tickets. Why not? Because I already won the lottery at that.
I won already. I got it.
You're done.
Right.
All your luck's been used up. Another one that represents a whole series, Prairie Artisanal's Bomb series. Yes, they tend to be a little too sweet for most people, but John knows I adore Christmas Bomb.
Mm.
The straight up bomb is amazing. Pirate Bomb I love because I adhere to International Talk Like a Pirate Day every year, and I have a full-blown pirate costume for it. So Pirate Bomb's a good one. But that whole series, I think Prairie does a fantastic job with that. Their consistency year after year after year, and especially Christmas Bomb. What I love about Christmas Bomb is the label changes every year, and it's a 2-sided label, and you have to find the differences from one side to the other. And the trick is chug the whole bottle and then try to do it. Because that is a big, what is that, 15?
It's 15. You can't chug that. You have to enjoy that.
Yeah, no, you enjoy that. Definitely enjoy that. But no, finish it and then try to find the differences from the two sides of the label. But the one that doesn't fit into any of the categories, so to speak, and I love this because, and I think this is a barrel type. I mean, I mentioned rum earlier, and I think more people need to age dark beers in rum barrels. I think rum barrels really, really lend themselves to dark beers very, very well, just as much as bourbon. But there's such a different flavor that it throws. But this is another barrel that bourbons are starting to age themselves in this barrel, and that's port. And one of the few beers I ever had aged in a port barrel was Brewery's Black Tuesday. Black Tuesday in a port barrel. So Black Tuesday almost has this dusty feel to it, right? And I love that about the beer. It's like, how did you get this dusty mouthfeel to a full-blown imperial stout? And then they age it in a port barrel. It softens everything because that's what port barrels do. But then add a Venice note to it. And damn, that was a fantastic beer. That's another one that just blew me away. Black Tuesday port barrel aged. Yeah, good luck finding that again.
I've never had the port barrel aged version. I've had a couple Black Tuesdays, and it's a phenomenal beer. But,
oh God, it's such a good beer.
Gray Monday's amazing. Black Tuesday's amazing. Yeah, they're all good. Okay, it's me. I'll give you two. I'll give you. Oddly enough, you only mentioned one of my 5. So there you go.
And we already know what it is.
And it's because
Shipwreck.
And it's because you had to throw another one in.
Yeah, only because you were being such a whiny little bitch about the other ones.
So my honorable mentions are yes, Shipwreck Porter from Carton. Dave already discussed it. So and it's an amazing, the honey porter that they use in its Caribbean spice rum casks, right? That they age it in. The honey porter itself is amazing. And then they put it in the spice rum.
I still got 2 bottles of last year's.
So just had went last Wednesday because that certain person, we can't say his name a third time in the show, had 5 pours of 2014 Shipwreck on the show last Tuesday, and along with 3 liters of boat.
Yeah, and he drank that 6 till clean, so there was nothing left when you got there.
He told Matt and I to come over on Wednesday. We went over there on Wednesday. It's gone because he finished it on Tuesday night. But we did have the 2023. Well, he didn't by himself. Everybody that was there finished it. But we did have the 2023. It was good. It was so. I mean, put a year or 2 on them. I really wanted to taste that 9-year-old one. I really did.
Yeah, I think.
But in any event, so that's what I'll mention.
And Shipwreck is named after the distillery that makes the rum that the barrels are in.
Yes.
And they make a vanilla version of that, and they make Carton Brewing makes a beer that will be out shortly called Epitome or Epitome if you say it with that voice, which is a black IPA, and it's beautiful if you float that vanilla rum on top of it.
That's nice. So
that's a great way to get shipwrecked.
And shipwrecked. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so that's what I mentioned. And my other one mention is Don was just in Chicago, Revolution Brewing, Straight Jacket. Yeah, Revolution Straight Jacket. Their barrel aged barley wine, 13.1% barrel aged barley wine. That's an amazing beer.
Oof.
Love. I'm a big barley wine guy. I'm a big multi-year guy. I love my stouts, but not one of these 5 is a stout. So I got a porter and a barley wine so far. So my number 3, I'm going through 2-1. My number 3 is from Rheingeist Brewing in Cincinnati, Ohio. All right. Double Oaked Mastodon.
Mastodon is one of those legendary whales.
Yeah. It's a Belgian strong dark ale, 14%. They barrel age it. It is so good. I actually, and this would have been number 3 regardless, but today we actually had probably a 5-year-old bottle of it. And it was so leathery, and there was so much leather and tobacco and dried fruit, and it was so It was so good. It was just like stupid good.
We may hear more from Ryan Geist when we do our big beer show at the end of the year.
Yeah, there'll be some Ryan Geist on that show for sure. But that's my number 3. My number 2 and my number 1 are both from the same brewery, and I'll let Dave guess who they're from.
Well,
I already gave a hint. Now you don't have to guess where. You don't have to guess the brewery. Just guess what state they're from.
I don't want to.
Well, I already said it before, so it's not really a guess if you heard me before. And
I don't listen to you. I don't pay any attention to you.
My number 2 is an old ale, 13.2% old ale, called Picture in Reverse. Brewed, blended, and bottled by Kane Brewing in Ocean, New Jersey.
You did mention something about Jersey, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I've never had that one by them.
It's an amazing beer. I'm a huge old ale guy, and
he's a huge ale guy who's old.
Well, I'm a huge old ale guy, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And my number 1, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to throw another honorable mention in there too.
He gave me crap for doing that.
No, I'm going to go back and throw it in there. It's another Kane, and I could even pull in a Goose Island via Don. I like wheat wines. It's a polarizing style. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I like wheat wines. I really like wheat wines.
I like them when you barrel age them.
Yeah, barrel aged wheat wines. Kane brewed Tomorrow was already here. They do that every year. Lately, they've been changing up the style. Lately, it's just been stouts, and it's been amazing as a stout. But the very first year they did it, it was a wheat wine. It was a barrel aged wheat wine, and I believe they blended it with some of it. They put in maple barrels too. Bourbon barrel aged it and maple barrel aged it, and they blended it. It was amazing. It was so ridiculously good.
But they probably changed the style because people don't buy wheat wines.
Right. No. Exactly. Right. I think I probably bought most of the bottles the first year they did it. And then, then throw it in there. Like, what was it? 4 years ago, the Bourbon County releases, Goose Island did a wheat wine, a barrel aged wheat wine. And that was amazing. That was amazing. I think I might still have a bottle of it. Anyway, and my number one is also from Kane. It's a barley wine, 14% barley wine, Wooden Cleat.
I knew Wooden Cleat was going to make a showing on this. That's why I didn't mention it.
It's that 24 month aging, 21 month, 24 month in Woodford Reserve barrels, blended, of course, different barrels. This beer, I mean, the viscosity of this beer is amazing.
Yes,
they must have lauded this beer for about 3 days.
It gurgles.
Yeah.
Not even pouring it, it'll sit there and gurgle.
Yeah,
like a little Brea tar pits.
Right.
It'll gurgle.
It's so stupidly good. All right. And the first year they did it too, they put it in 250s. So what, a little over 8 ounces.
Yeah.
And that was enough because it's 14%. It's huge, right? You could split it. It's enough. It's even good. You can split it with somebody and have 4 ounces each, a little over 4 ounces each, and it's enough.
Actually, you can split a taster with somebody and you're good.
Yeah. But lately they've been doing it 500s. I just had a couple weeks ago, Matt and I had last year's, they aged it in Amburana barrels. And Amburana, that was the barrels we were talking about with, I almost said his name with the guy from last week.
On our last show,
we were talking about Amburana barrels. They throw cinnamon. The wood actually throws cinnamon. You don't have to rest anything on Amburana all that long to get the cinnamon. So I think they actually use spirals. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on it, but that was amazing too. But the original Wooden Cleat they did, just an amazing beer. So
awesome.
There you go. Those are my top. What did I do? 6?
No, I don't think I've had any of those 6.
Yeah. That's amazing. I do have. Here's the thing too. I do have some of them still. So whether I take them to Vegas with me or we wait a year later, and when you get to Philly,
get some age on it.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to split some. We'll bring them over to the brewery and enjoy. So,
Don, where Where do your travels take you? Yeah, where do your travels take you next?
Where's next?
Not entirely sure. Nothing. Well, Vegas is entirely sure.
Yeah.
I guess. I've never been to Rochester, New York, and believe it or not, I'm thinking about going there.
Why?
Not a difficult.
Wants to check out Genesee, of course.
Genesee. I actually hear good things about the brewery scene there from multiple parties.
There's some really cool breweries there, and I got to be honest with you. They just had it this past weekend. Blue Point, and I know they formerly Blue Point, formerly of AB Above, now of Tilray.
Yes,
right? Tilray owns them now. But they do every year. They do a cask ale festival, and it has nothing to do with AB Above or whatever. It's all local breweries.
Yep. Okay,
and they're coming with a couple of different cask ales.
When is that?
It used to be in April. Now it's in November. They just had it this past weekend. I did not go. You right. So it'll be next year. But they 2 years ago, I had 2 or 3, not kidding, Genesee cask ales that were really, really good. So do with that information what you will.
I believe people get too stuck in their preconceived notions of various breweries, and Genesee makes a great cream ale, and the way they make a great cream ale is they're really good brewers, which means if you want them to, you take a great French pastry chef and ask them to make a German schnitzel. I guarantee it's going to be a good German schnitzel.
Yes,
if you have the skills, you have the skills. So I believe that.
Yeah, they were really good. And there's always a couple of breweries from Jersey, a lot from Long Island, a lot from the island, some from upstate New York, some from New England, and a handful from New Jersey every year. So,
and I'll be out on Long Island this weekend.
Are you going out this weekend?
Yeah, be visiting some of our friends out there.
Gonna go see Jim. Go on a boat.
Yep, going out on the boat. He just got one of the engines fixed, thank God, because otherwise we're not going anywhere. But I'll be hitting Spiderbite on the way out.
Tell Larry hello for me.
I will do so.
And nothing. I mean, holiday wise, what do you normally do as far as what is your beer during the holiday season? Your beer, Don, your beer.
I don't really have any traditions except one, which is probably going to end soon. But I don't know if you're familiar with a beer called Quelque Chose from a brewery called Unibrew.
I know Unibrew and I know Quelque Chose.
Yeah. Okay, so
that at Chambly outside of Montreal.
Correct, and Quelque Chose can be served hot. And so many years ago, I bought a case of it, and then every Christmas I bring out one bottle and I heat it up and I have a hot Quelque Chose. And my tradition will come to an end soon because
you're running out, and they don't make it anymore.
And they don't make it anymore.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Quelque Chose. Wow, when was the last time they made Quelque Chose?
I haven't seen it probably in at least 17, 18 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's at least 10, but it's been that.
A friend of mine lives in Japan, and he says he can get it in Japan.
What? Interesting.
You can't get it in Canada, but he can get it in Japan.
So says he, and he is a beer guy. It's not like he's mistaking this for some other beer or anything. He is a beer guy. He knows what he's talking about. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Ow.
That is funny. I mean, I got a lot of minor little traditions, but Dave will tell you my biggest tradition is I go through myself. I probably go through 2 cases of celebration myself throughout the holidays. And I don't mean like in the house with other people coming over. I mean me.
Capital C.
Yeah.
Celebration.
Through probably 2/3 of the case on Thanksgiving alone.
Right.
If not
exactly. I got. I normally do the thing I normally did. My tradition was always when I got the turkey in the oven early in the morning. As soon as the turkey went in the oven, I cracked my first celebration. That was what I did. The last couple of years, it was on the holiday beer show that we do the Tuesday prior to Thanksgiving. So I'll have my first one 2 weeks from tonight.
And and
then my second one will be on Thanksgiving morning.
Last year we a tradition broke on the show because we had my brother on the first 2 that we did, and he had some sort of incident that he couldn't make it. But he is confirmed to be on the show this year.
Yep, that's going to be a good show, and we'll reconvene what we tried to do last year with Tony because he will be on that show. So,
Mr. Drury.
So, all right, Don. Hang out for 2 seconds after we sign off.
Okay.
We want to just chat with you for a second before you go eat dinner, and I get to eat too because I'm starving and I smell dinner cooking downstairs. So,
no, that's the worst.
Exactly. But on that note, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our brand new audio podcast host. And we got to stop saying brand new because we've been
not brand new anymore.
3 months now. Yeah.
we're
on our audio podcast host, Spreaker, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, iHeartRadio, Odyssey, Audible, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser. Pretty much anywhere you can get an audio podcast, you can find our podcast.
Joe's podcast service.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Don, thank you so much for coming on the show again.
Always
a pleasure when you come on the show. We love it. It's great.
You bring amazing insight. We love it.
Absolutely. And we also live vicariously through you because as much as I travel and as much as Dave travels, you travel more. So
I don't
well, at least you have in the last month. So
it was a good month.
But we will drink a lot of beer, folks, but drink responsibly, and we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake robe. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he's shit out of luck. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy's eating corned beef in the back of a Ford Pinto. You better run, you better go, 'cause you're messing with us.